What's up, people? Welcome back to a new season. I can't believe it's the new season. It's been my hair's a bit, let's try and tuck that. Yeah, it's been a great summer. I'll be so real with you. I have enjoyed every bit of the summer, and now it's back to this shirt is tight. To be fair, I bought it 2 years ago, but yeah. Anyways, it's been a long summer. World Cup, all these things, and now it's back to formalities. I'll be so real. Yeah. So obviously, before we talk about the game, Ezri Konsa's now signed for Arsenal. I mean, after watching the game today, I can kind of understand why we need another centre back, because as much as I like Mosquera in the sense of how aggressive he can be, he's a bit inexperienced, and you can see it a lot of times when, especially aerially, and when the ball is up for contest, you can see he struggles just a little bit. And I think against competent forwards, not to say Coventry's ones weren't, they were in a sense, but against very competent forwards, you can see he can get bullied a little bit. And even Tawo Iwani, I didn't even know he went Coventry, but you can see he kind of struggled a little bit with him. So actually bringing Ezri Konsa might not be the worst idea, because Saliba, I'm not sure how long Saliba is out for. My guess is the fact that you've gone out and spent 50 on Konsa tells me that maybe we won't see this guy until like mid-November, early December probably. So judging by those parameters, I'll be so real, it might have been the smart thing to actually just get an additional centre back, because relying on Mosquera for a good part of this season might actually end up being a very risky thing to do. And with Gabriel, you know, I feel like Gabriel's gonna break down in a sec as well. So Ezri Konsa, I wasn't with it after seeing this game. Fair, and that's why I'm not a scout. So we'll leave it at that. Martinelli not in the squad. Look, even before I was doing YouTube and doing fan reaction, Martinelli is a winger that I have been so confused in how he has been at Arsenal for this long. Like, guys, I've never been on this Martinelli hype. Even 22-23, when he had that goal, that season, where he scored all those goals and stuff like this. But I've just never really got on the hype train with Martinelli. I just never really seen what Arsenal fans saw in him. I was on the side of, I just don't think he's that good kind of thing. Like, that's the kind of vibe that I've always taken it with Martinelli. I've just always seen him as a guy that I'm just confused why we invested so much. I mean, he had the number 35, then got given the 11, then we give him the big contract, and for so long he's been underperforming season after season. I think last season was essentially what broke the camel's back. Even think about games last season towards the end. The one that sticks to my mind is that Forest game away, effectively missing an open goal. That could have cost us massively. Like, you scored that goal and you go, I think it was like 9-12 points at the time. So Martinelli's had his chances. Galatasaray have come in, and all these other clubs have come in. Apparently he wants a top club. He needs to humble himself and realise that that's not his level. And that's never been his level. He's a below par winger. Never looks up when he has the ball. Struggles to beat his man. Technical level and the technical quality of him on the ball is not even Premier League standard, guys, if we're being completely honest. The only saving grace of Martinelli is that his off the ball movements and his off the ball runs kind of compensate in Arteta's system, because Arteta lacks defensive wingers, and he is that. You know, if you're not good at attacking, you might as well be competent going back the other way. So he's not in the squad. Hopefully that means he's leaving. So with Gabriel Jesus, he's saying that he doesn't want to leave because he wants to get naturalized and all this bullshit. Allow it. He needs to leave as well. Not in the same sense as Gabriel Martinelli. Sorry. The issue with Jesus is one, fitness. Two, he lacks conviction in front of goal. I think his ability on the ball, you can't question it. He's a talented player on the ball, but he just can't finish, and he can't stay fit, and you're on a shit ton of money. He's got 1 year left. He doesn't want to leave. I doubt he goes. He wants to stay until next summer when his contract's free and he's out of contract. So with Martinelli, these are two players that we should just be shipping off anyway. Surprisingly, Ethan was on the bench. A bit disappointing that he didn't come on. Cool. We've got Villa and Chelsea coming up. We'll get to the game in a second. So, yeah. But in terms of the lineup, pretty happy with it. I think that's the best lineup we could have got. Bruno Guimaraes picked up on not even a knock, like a thigh issue. He hasn't had pre-season, granted. Again, Arteta said a couple weeks. He said that about Timber, and Timber's been out since April. Timber's been out since April, guys, and we have not seen this guy. We've not seen his brother since. I don't even think we've seen him in pre-season. So with Timber's a long-term issue. I'm not sure when we'll see Timber back again, but yeah, that's a separate thing. So Rice comes in, Skelly, Odegaard, and Zolis, Havertz, and Saka. In terms of individuals, what's his name? Gabriel looked a bit rusty. To be fair, the whole team looked a bit rusty. One thing I would say is we've definitely been working on progressing the ball a lot quicker this pre-season and in training. You can see there's a bit more, I want to say, urgency in how we move the ball compared to what we were doing last season, where everything was so lethargic, so safe, and all these things. One thing I would say, and I think it's I just find it annoying because it's been happening even last season, is teams have worked out how we like to move the ball, in the sense that the ball goes to the fullbacks and it's so blatantly obvious that we want to get it to the flanks, get to Saka or Zolis on the other side. It's so blatantly obvious, and what teams do, they essentially cut those lanes, and it forces Arsenal to keep going back. There was countless opportunities, and I said this even last season, there were so many countless scenarios where Skelly kind of drops in between the two players for Coventry, or essentially he drops in between the half spaces, and there's so many times when, if Ben White just zangs that ball to Skelly, that then shifts, it's like chess, that then shifts the two Coventry players who are kind of occupying those flanks to then occupy Skelly, and then you know, Odegaard then moves here, and then there's so many times that every time that ball goes into the middle, it then opens up space for Saka to then drift further out wide, or drift inside, and you saw in a lot of our attacking scenarios, when that ball goes in on the inside from our centre backs, you can see we actually progress the ball a lot quicker. It's not every time wing play, get the ball out on the wings and then face them up. No, sometimes actually get the ball onto the inside and just play a simple 1-2 with Rice or Odegaard, and it opens up, and you saw it every single time. And it's not necessarily get the ball into into the half space and now Skelly to essentially drive. No, it's get the ball into the half space, get Skelly to pop it off. Someone then opens up or shows up for the ball like a Rice or like a Odegaard, and then you're able to progress the ball a lot quicker. This wing play crap only works in certain scenarios. We've got to be a bit more inventive in terms of how we're getting the ball forward a bit more. It's obviously down to the personnel as well. When you have Skelly and Rice, or Skelly and Bruno, they're a lot more forward-thinking players. You saw when Zubimendi came on, their kind of momentum shifted a little bit. Okay, granted we were 3-0 up, but Zubimendi is not a forward passing thinking player, and you can see that in how he receives the ball and also how he moves the ball. Every time Zubimendi gets on the ball, it's either it goes back to where it came from or it goes sideways. When you have forward thinking and progressive players in your midfield, your momentum and how you move the ball changes completely. When you have Zubimendi and Moreno in there, cool, it's 3-0. But when you're chasing the game, that midfield's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. So we lack a bit of creative freestyle when we get to the edge of the box. A lot of the time when the ball comes to the edge of the box, it's panic. You don't know what you're doing. There were so many chances within that first half where the ball gets into the edge of the box and it's like, oh, what do I do? Skelly had, I think it was the second half, we managed to get the ball, managed to work the ball quite nicely from the corner, and then Skelly gets onto the edge of the box and it's like, shoot, and he passes and then the chance is gone, and the same thing kept happening over and over again. We need to be a lot more potent when we're on the edge of the box, because a lot of the time we're just not, it's not inventive enough, and that's my issue. It just looks too lethargic, and that's kind of the problem we've had last season, and it seems like the same thing is kind of happening now. We'll wait and see until we see what happens in the window. As they're coming on the left, I think, look, maybe we have to look at it this way. The fact that he's playing Eze on the left tells me that Martinelli's gone, and I'm completely fine with that. I see Arsenal fans crying. Who cares? No one cares. My thing is he said I'd rather play Eze out on the left. So this season, are we going with Eze and Zolis on that as our options down that side? Because if I look on the current market in terms of wingers, there's not many ones I would take. You look at Leao, no. Rashford, no. Barcola, maybe, but not for the price. So, and Ndiaye is the only one. I've said it even when we were linked with Rodgers. Iliman Ndiaye is the one I would go for. Doesn't seem like we're even linked with him. Kenan Yildiz, I'm not entirely sure if he even wants to come. So then you have to start reinventing, okay, attacking options. Julian Alvarez we can try and get, but he doesn't want to come to Arsenal. And for me, if he's not interested in playing for Arsenal, then why bring a player that doesn't want to be here? To me, it screams Di Maria at Man United. After 6 months, he's off to PSG or something. So I don't know. I think, I don't know. There's rumours about Junior Krupi, get him on, and then obviously he'll be back by like October time. Yeah, that could potentially work, but yeah, the creativity in attacking areas is something that needs to be worked on. Zolis looked lively. He looked like he was the only one that was willing to try something and do something. Saka and Madueke, I'll get to Madueke first. He needs to get the Martinelli treatment. And I think he's got one season, and that one season is this season. If he doesn't do anything remotely productive this season, awkward conversations, I think it's already on, to be honest, because a lot of fans are kind of fed up with Madueke. But come the start of next summer, Madueke should be on the chopping block, I'll be honest, immediately. We should be looking to move him on. I just think there's nothing productive that comes from him. You just don't know what you're getting. It's not consistent. There's no technical consistency with him on the ball, and it's gonna be pretty much of the same from last season onto this season. So with Noni Madueke, let's just brave it for this season, and the likelihood is we won't see him start of next season. So let's just leave him up on that. Saka, on the other hand, boy, I said it last season as well. Coming into the season, he will play his way out of this team, and I kind of retract that statement. Not because he's gotten better, because the options he has, the competition he has behind him, is not even that great. So Saka can continue to drop stinkers and look below par, because Noni Madueke will equal his level of output, and Dalman is still raw in that sense, and Ethan is not going to play on that side. He's more of a 10, which was kind of disappointing that he didn't come on for Odegaard, because Marino came on, but I would have put Marino on for Havertz. But anyway, that's another thing. But Saka, for me, he didn't look great today, guys. I'll be so real. Like, he looks very flat-footed, and I'm not sure if that's the injuries that's caught up to him and it's kind of made him a bit of a heavy footer now. But it just doesn't look, he doesn't look productive either, guys. That right wing is another area that potentially we need to look at. We won't, because Saka's there and Max is there. But for me, Saka, I'll be so real with you guys, like, I just don't see it anymore with him. Like, like, people say give him a season, and cool, he will have his season, but I just don't think he was great today. He had some nice little cute things here and there, but for the most part, again, there's not much there. His technical level seems to have dropped, and I think that's mainly, again, maybe because of the injuries. I'm trying to be balanced here, and trying to keep it to injury as possible. But Saka, I'll be honest, guys, he just didn't look great today. I know people want to get onto Madueke. Madueke didn't look great when he came on either, but Saka. Odegaard had a quiet one. He had the goal. To be funny enough, the goal he scored actually came from the kind of combination of Odegaard and Ben White overlapping. That looked pretty good. But from Saka's point of view, for him to have a very good season, Ben White needs to stay fit. I'm not sure if we put Mosquera there or Konza there, which I don't want to see, by the way. Konza's not a right back, but if you see Mosquera on that side, I don't think you see the best of Saka. He just doesn't look. He don't look right. That's the honest truth, guys. Rice just looks knackered, to be fair, and that's fine. But Saka, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. But anyways, we got Villa next, and we got Chelsea next after. Those are two tough games. So let's see how we deal with those two games when we're coming up against competent teams, because it's hard to judge how good we are because of just how poor Coventry are. But equally, the same issues we had last year is still really there, that when we reach the edge of the box or in the final third of the pitch, we just lack conviction. There's so many times when the ball needs to be taken on. It doesn't get taken on. You pass it kind of fiddle and trying to walk the ball into the net, and then the chance kind of goes. Against competent sides, this will be a detriment to us. So it'll be interesting to see how we deal with this come the next couple games. Will we make signings in terms of the attacking areas? I think the left wing position needs to be addressed Gyökeres not coming on. Look, it's obvious that Gyökeres is not the first choice. We play better with Havertz, whether people like to hear that or not. We do. The ball just takes a lot better when Havertz is there. Gyökeres, like I said, in a lot of my match reactions last season, I will cut my losses with Gyökeres because I just don't think he's good enough. But equally, I understand Havertz is not good enough either. But Havertz as a striker is a much better option than Gyökeres as a striker, because we struggle to build anything when Gyökeres is there, because the fundamentals of Gyökeres are so low that every time you get the ball up to him, it doesn't stick, and our attacks more often than not tends to break down with Gyökeres up there. So Havertz is more of a short-term option, and I hope we don't renew his contract. But then also, Marino should be an attacking option, not a midfield option. In games where we're leading, it's fine. But in games where we're chasing a lead or chasing to equalise or do X, Y, and Z, or our backs against the foot, and you're putting on Zubimendi and Marino, good luck, because nothing will come from that. So yeah, a lot to learn, but the most important thing is the 3 points against a newly promoted side as well. We need to maximize the points against sides like Coventry, because these are always your bankers, and we've played them. We got our 3 points, 37 more to go. We'll see how we play against Villa, and I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you guys in the next match reaction. But good to be back though.